estaban esperando. De verdad. Y se atrevieron a ordenar un par de botellas de champán en tu cuenta. ¿Qué? Lo hice. Tato, tranquilo, tranquilo. Ponle en mi cuenta. Dale. Y vuelvo otra vez. Óyelo. Ella es estirada, muy delicada, no cree en nada. Arrastra en su paso, cuando camina es un arrebato. Es toda una actriz, pero no con todos protagoniza. Porque su gala en la cartera debe tener visa. Pero en las noches sin estrellas, la luna se apodera de ella. Y sin ser su dueño, yo descubrí su debilidad. A ella le gusta que le den champán, toda la noche que le den champán. Se vuelve loca con el champán, 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 pam, pam. Como le gusta tomar champán, se desespera por el champán. Le sacó el corcho y suena pan, champán, 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 pam, pam. Es adicta esa bebida con burbujas seductivas. La toma y se vuelve loca, no quiere tener más ropa. Ella baja poco a poco y me agarra la botella. De espuma se llena ella cuando la empieza a agitar. Ay, que le den champán, toda la noche que le den champán. Se vuelve loca con el champán, 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 pam, pam. Como le gusta tomar champán, se desespera por el champán. Le sacó el concho y suena pan, champán, 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 pam, pam. ¡Ah, soda!
A ella le gusta que le den champán, toda la noche que le den champán.
Ella se enamora de pasada, ya que el que le compra Prada no quiere prenda barata mulata.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Alida Hernandez here, Spanglish News. So right now we have JC Colon, which is my husband, and we are local now here to Palm Bay. And he recorded this video at Morel's in Palm Bay. So just to give you a little taste of his music. And he also will be performing at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And so that was a little taste of his video. You can go to JCEE Colon and you can see his other music that he's done. He is local. We're now local to Palm Bay, and we had the honor to release his new single on July, I think it was July 20th when we did the event at El Sombrero Mexican restaurant off of Palm Bay Road. And we had an awesome time there. And also just want to announce that we will be at this year's Puerto Rican Day Parade. And his whole orchestra will be there backing up Tito Puente Jr. And we also have Marcus Hernandez from Orquesta Fuego. So we'll have salsa lineup. Then we have also English music, of course. We have Boricua Posse from New York, and he's on the hip hop side. Then we got freestyle, Nasty Boys will be here. We have some other salsa artists, and I think I have the wrong. Let me get the new flyer. Sorry. Boom. That's the new flyer. That looks better now. So yeah, we have a huge lineup of independent artists coming up, and of course some recording artists. And of course, Tito Puente Jr. is celebrating 100 years of his father, Tito Puente music. So we're bringing that to Palm Bay, little taste of Puerto Rico and some Spanish music and some freestyle, of course. So just want to let you know. And also we have another artist coming here. If I can find her flyer. Giggles is coming to Palm Bay as well. Here it is. Giggles will be coming on September 21st at the Space Coast Latin Festival, and it will be, I think it's at the, I can't even see that, Space Coast Harley Davidson. So freestyle artist Giggles, she will be here September 21st. So come on, get your groove on and dance and have a great time. So just a couple of things going on here in Palm Bay. I've only been here about 4 months, but we're making noise and trying to engage the community. So with that, today I have the honor to speak to Mr. Richard Mike Hammer. He is running for council seat number 2. I'm learning about the political stuff here. I'm trying to figure out who does what and everything. So I figure what a great platform. I have a platform. Let's discuss it. Elections is next week. If you're local, there's a lot of elections going on, and this is an election year. So we want to learn more about Palm Bay and what Mike Hammer brings to the table to to the city, and just address some of the questions that people have in the community. So let's welcome him in, and let's see here.
Hello, how's it going?
Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming by and talking to me. Actually, I read the conversation on Nextdoor on the app.
Yeah.
So I was like happy because I go in there to see what's going on in the neighborhood, and you were there doing a discussion. I go, oh, look at this. I go, this is perfect, and I reach out to you because I did interview our current mayor, Rob Medina, a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't. He didn't get into too many specifics. We just had kind of a general interview.
Yeah.
But since I've been here a couple of months, I have seen a couple of concerns and people's concerns, and was very curious. Hold on, I'm trying to get my screen. There we go. Some of the questions out there. But I think the main thing is, what does your position do when you go into the city?
Okay, so as a city council member, a lot of people like to say that they want to implement a lot of things, but as a city council member, it's literally just your job to give a yes or a no. You do get a spot to come up with ideas and to motion them for discussion amongst the other city council members as well as the mayor. But other than that, all you can do is speak with the city manager about things. You can't really talk to staff. You can't really make a lot of implementations without a total agreement of people. So your real job is to make a good educated decisions on the things that are brought to you by staff. You can also come up with ideas and give it to staff or talk to it during your report, but your job is basically to come up with the best reason to choose yes or no within yourself. The best part about that is who in the community you're going to listen to. Are you going to listen to the community? Are you going to listen to what the city wants? Are you going to listen to what the staff wants? Or are you going to listen to how you feel yourself?
Wow.
I love door knocking, and even if I'm elected or not, I'm still going to door knock. I'm still going to talk to people, and whenever something's going to be going on in the community, I'm still going to be out door knocking, talking to people. So that's something that's really important to me is getting the consensus of how the residents feel on a decision. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, and I don't know everything, but I do know how people feel. And at this point in time, I think our residents aren't being heard.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to bring an aspect to it that I'm going to be a voice for the people.
That's awesome, because I think that's what we need. I mean, I've only been here a few months, but I talk to people all the time. I'm a talker since I do shows and everything. So when I go to places, I say hello to people, and here everybody's so nice in Palm Bay. Majority of the time. I mean, when the first day I moved here, 3 neighbors came out to welcome me. So I was like, what? I was like, are you okay? I mean, I come from down south, Florida, so forget it. All right. They don't say hi. Yeah, you were telling me. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
But so the things that I noticed, the last thing that I noticed was I guess they had some kind of vote on spending, right? So people were up in a tizzy because now our property taxes are going up because they're allocating funds for, I think, fire, police,
Hmm.
and something like that. So and I don't know, my feeling is if it's protecting the city, I don't care paying a little bit more, but I know a lot of people here are in fixed income because I notice there's a lot of elderly people that are here, even though there's a change in influx of new people coming in. So so yeah, I guess what is the, I mean, what is all that about? What is the
So they didn't pass it, so we won't be paying that.
uh
But a lot of people were upset because we were asking for a tax when we didn't have to.
hmm,
The thing is, we have other ways to get this money. We have other ways to get the funding that we need, and these last couple council meetings are proof of that. We're going to address the impact fees now. There's a lot going on with that, as well as a few other ways to get funding for these projects. They actually just designated $3.7 million from the undesignated fund to put temporary fire stations in these communities that aren't being reached.
mm,
That's huge. People don't understand how huge that is, because I mean, even one fire truck is almost $1.3 million, and
wow.
and that's you're getting that on sole source from somebody, so you're getting a great price on that. So there's a lot of different things going on behind the scenes that should have been going on 4 years ago. I mean,
Right, and
well,
we've had such a growth here. I mean,
yeah,
I bought a pre-existing home, so I didn't really want to go into a new home. I'm not weird like that. Like I'd rather buy an older home to keep the community the way it is than buy the new home. And I didn't like the new homes. They're kind of cookie cutter, It reminds me of like living in an apartment because everything's like all the same. But anyway, going to that, you were talking about impact fees. So I want to understand what that is. I know that you were discussing that those are certain fees that the developers have to pay, right,
yes,
before they start a construction on these homes and these projects, correct?
yes, ma'am.
So those fees go to the city. It's like when you get a permit, right? It's kind of like that when I have to go get a permit to put something in my backyard and you pay a fee. So the developers have to pay a
Yes.
bigger fee, right?
So, and it's even with houses. It's not just the developers. It's the builders of houses and everything else. Basically, what an impact fee is if your home, your business, your development, something moves in here, there's a bunch of fees that you pay to help with the infrastructure for this area. So if you move into 32909 and you pay a certain amount of impact fees, those impact fees can only go towards new things within 32909. So if there's a huge subdevelopment going in down south, the only thing that those impact fees can go towards is that district.
Okay.
So just because there's a fire station over on the other side of town and a bunch of houses are coming in on this side of town, you can't take impact fees from that money to repair the
Okay. I
fire.
got it. I
It can
got it.
impact fee is for new things only. So if you're going to bring in a new station, a new police car for that area, if you're going to bring in a new anything new for that area, basically, and I don't even really think that a lot of the impact fees, because we're actually we had a consultant come in and say our impact fees are low. They actually haven't been addressed in 12 years. So
Oh,
that
wow.
lets you know how under the gun we are here. With that being said, by law, over a certain amount of time, you can only go up 50%. So what
Oh,
the impact fees are right now, by law, you can only go up 50%.
okay.
Both of the consultants that came in have said it would be it would be within our standards to go up the 50%. But I think a lot of what our issue is right now is the appropriations of the money we are getting, because I don't think we have our priorities set on where the money is going to and which department each impact fee is going to.
Oh, okay.
The
Because
good thing about
those impact fees, then, like what we were saying before, then say, like you said, 32909 gets new development or something. They pay impact fees, and there's more people now coming in, so they can allocate money to put a fire department, right? Or they
Yes.
can allocate money to put a police department or something.
Yes, ma'am. And how it works, this is only a one-time fee. This isn't
okay.
happens on a regular basis. This is a one-time fee. For example, I want to say the police department gets $300 for every home that actually gets built. So when you take that 300 and you multiply it by 2,800 homes,
Thank you.
that's the money that you're going to get towards the police department for that area.
Right.
What our problem is right now is where the police department's getting 300 and change, Parks and Recreation is getting 1,800. So I think a lot of it's in the appropriations to where we don't. On one of our good things and one of our positives is we are extremely affordable. That's why the building is rampant here, because we are only 45% built out. So on the backside of that, we have a comprehensive plan that we need to follow. But we also need to understand, our infrastructure is not where it needs. It can't survive the growth that we're having right now. I think ramping up our impact fees would slow down a little bit of the development, put a little bit more money into our infrastructure to where it can catch up.
Yeah.
I do also believe, as of right now, I want to say it's between 80 and 90% of the city's budget comes from the taxpayers. Not just, it comes from you and me, where it's supposed to be, the city's supposed to at least be 40% commercial when it comes to something like that, where I think we do need to bring in better, smarter business. We need to have an atmosphere that's conducive to business wanting to be here.
Right. That was my next question, because me being a small business owner, I had a event space down in Fort Lauderdale, and we've been looking around and saying what we're going to do, and there's a lot of real estate for lease.
There is.
But I don't know how that's working, because unfortunately, Florida is a landlord state, not a tenant state. And I went through it in Fort Lauderdale, and trust me, it wasn't fun. So, are there any plans there to really help small businesses?
Business is extremely hard to do in Palm Bay. And I have a friend of mine that just bought, he's trying to make a small business right now, and he put up a little wall in the middle, like a 3-foot wall, a knee wall is what it's called. And he was just working, minding his own business. It's a knee wall. You wouldn't think you need any kind of permitting. You
gotta be kidding.
They actually came in and shut him down. He had to get a bunch of inspections, and then his permit got kicked back 5 times. So he called me. He goes, this is why people do not want to do business in Palm Bay. There's a permit for everything. Like, oh, you're going to walk in the door, there's a permit for that. You want to?
Yeah, I went through
walk
it.
inside this place? Oh, there's a
That's ridiculous. Now we need permits for certain things, but it gets to the point, like I moved into this house, I had to get the permit for the fence, right? That went through the contractor, thank God. Then I had to do a concrete slab in the back, and I did it like on my own. So I had to go through all this paperwork, and I went to the city office at the city hall upstairs twice, and they're like, "Oh, the lady that handles that is not here. She's working from home."
Oh yeah, that's huge.
And then they're like, and then well, lady, but you work here. Oh, I don't do those permits. What do you do then?
I am so glad that you're a person that's experienced this work from home moment, because it's rampant around the city. It is.
Well, I know people. There's certain jobs you can do from home, right? But when you're a city employee and you have to address people, you got to be in the front door there. And then you leave the office. I walked upstairs to the second floor. There's one woman there. She didn't know what she was doing. There was another woman that she gave me the business card. Here, call her. She's home working. I'm like, I'm here now. I have all my paperwork. I need help with the system. Oh, you have to go on the internet portal and do everything. We can't do anything here. What are you talking about? What if it happens if I'm a 87-year-old person, has no computer, and I got to get something from my house? What am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I have my mother and my aunt here, so thank God I take care of everything. But it wasn't a simple process. I was very frustrated. Then I had to go to Viera, right? To Viera, to go to the building thing because they had to do a sketch or something, and the septic tank was an issue. And then I'm like, are you kidding? I go over there twice, get that approved, then bring it back. Then I was missing another form. I had to go get notarized again. I mean, it was like I was like doing these hoops.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a permit to do a 10 by 25 concrete slab so I can have a patio in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm afraid now when I put a screen in, that's going to be another, whatever. And it wasn't the fees. The fees wasn't bad. It was the paperwork and the disconnect. And then when I called on the phone, I kept getting transferred. Oh, no, that's not this department. Let me send you somewhere else. Who's this now? Like, I didn't even know who I was talking to after a while.
And what's crazy is you aren't the only one this is happening to. This is happening to everyone. And what's sad about it is people have stopped talking about it because their voices aren't being heard. And that needs to change. And one of the things that I am going to introduce if I do get elected, is I want an operational oversight committee. Just a board of people that are just volunteers from within the city. They come in, they specialize in some of the things that we do. And they're going to come in and they're going to say, okay, well, if we streamline this, we're going to be more friendly to business. If we streamline this, we're going to be more friendly to residents. These people are also going to assess people's jobs on a regular basis. What they're doing is something that they should be doing. Because what the problem with the city is now, there's no accountability. Somebody cannot be in their job, not do their job, and nobody has anything to say about it. It's just you have to deal with it as a taxpayer, and that has to stop.
That has to stop. Yeah,
because I think in the next year you're going to see an operational audit of the city of Palm Bay. Whether I get in there or not, I'm going to keep on pushing it. And I got a really big mouth, and I'm not going to stop.
I'm right behind you. I'm right there. So let me know, because I want to be part of the city and be more, understand it more. And like I said, I was looking at that. You can't run for any office once you're a resident for 2 years. Yeah. And then now, do you even get paid? I saw something they pay you like $12,000. Is that right?
It's minimal, but I think it's actually fair. I don't think you should be getting paid. Like me myself, I really don't agree with even the getting paid. Other than if you spend your own money on something, it should be reimbursed. That's the only. But I get it. It is a lot of time. It is a lot of headache. Your life is getting turned upside down. Everybody knows who you are. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't do, and hence the past. You do need to hold a higher standard of yourself and set an example for our community. And it's not just the people; it's the kids. That I'm a football coach, and all my kids that I've always coached, they're all calling me. I saw your sign today.
That's cool. That's cool.
We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and I think a lot of that standard being held up is going to bring the trust back to Palm Bay, because Palm Bay has completely lost trust in not just the city, but its future. Everybody that I talk to said, like, I've met maybe 3 people since I've started my campaign that say, man, Palm Bay is great. Everyone has something that they want to see fixed in Palm Bay. And I mean, we need to start having a story where people talk about how great Palm Bay is.
Yeah.
The only great thing about Palm Bay right now is we're only 45% built out. So we have a path forward to build the story how we want it to be, how we want our city to look, and
Right.
how we want our city to feel. And unfortunately, everyone's like, man, we need this hometown. We need to keep the hometown feel. We have
Well,
140,000 people in the city of Palm Bay. Hometown feel went out the door 10 years ago.
I mean, you still have that feeling, considering, coming from Miami. This is a huge improvement.
Oh,
I
yeah.
moved up here because I wanted a house with a little piece of land. I have a little garden going on there. I'm trying to learn because the bugs are eating my cucumbers. So I don't even know how to deal with that. So I'm like
Well, I'll
Googling
talk
what
about
kind of
that
bug.
because I'm actually a farmer. So,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we'll have to talk farming because I don't know. And that's one thing that I was really surprised. This is that you have plenty of, you're a farmer, you have a farm up here. There's so much land, and I can't find a farmer's market.
yeah.
Where's the farmer's market? I can't find fresh. The only thing I find is watermelon down Babcock.
Yep.
Okay. But I can't find a farm, or I can't even find a really nice nursery. I'm like, that's really weird.
Well, one thing that I'm actually discussing right now is I don't know if you've seen on the news that they want to build a BMX track here in Palm Bay.
Yes, I heard that.
One of the things that this BMX track is going to provide is not only did I bring in another guy who actually does drone racing on an international level, and he might be able to do some of his drone racing there, but this is going to have a huge parking lot. And within that parking lot, I discussed with a few people about doing food truck wars and actually a farmers market once a month on Sundays.
That would be nice.
So that's something I was discussing, and that's
If you need music, let me know. I got music.
another thing that we do is on our first Fridays, we have a First Friday event at Veterans Park. So
Oh,
what
okay.
I'm also reaching out to do is making this First Friday a lot bigger. And if we do have farmers, if we do have people that would like to, sell things like that, that would be an amazing place to do, because there's 100 to 150 people that show up to these, and there's
Wow.
music, there's entertainment, there's all kinds of stuff at these events, and you see it is a conglomerate of our population, and our population is extremely diverse.
Oh yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say, I mean, I lived in Hialeah, I lived in Fort Lauderdale, I lived in Beach. I worked for FEMA when the hurricanes hit down there, so
Mhm.
I was down there for a lot of that. And then when I come back to Palm Bay to see the different places that I was in, all in one, and I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I saw you were sharing the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and
Right.
that's
Right.
something like super close to my heart, because Sam was an amazing person when it comes to bringing our community together, not just bringing the community together, showing people that didn't know about culture a different
Mhm.
culture, and actually being able to enjoy it. And I learned how to salsa dance at
Yeah, that's good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
so, and I'll tell you what, there ain't anybody keeping up with me when I'm dancing.
Yeah. Well, I have to challenge that because my mother, who's almost 87,
Hmm.
still dances salsa. She's in great shape, and she will dance you to I mean, she will dance all night till 2 in the morning, and she doesn't even sweat. Okay. She has this little style, and she's like, how do you not sweat all night?
Well, I'll
Oh,
sweat. That's just wording.
but music is something that brings people together all the time. And like I showed the video in the beginning, so that was my husband. He's a
Hmm.
salsa singer, and we've done things in Miami, we're going to go do things in Orlando, and we have several shows that we interview artists. And there's a lot of artists here in Palm Bay. Actually, I found out we have an Olympian in Palm Bay as well.
Hmm.
And I think she won a gold medal. I forgot what it was for, but I know we have an Olympian in Palm Bay, and there's a big Puerto Rican community here.
Yes.
And I see the
What I do
flags
for a living?
involved. Huh?
I said, do you know what I do for a living? I do music videos for a living.
Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Good. We need another music video, so.
Links when I get done. I actually work with an artist here in Palm Bay. His name's Tyrese, and he's a Spanish artist. I have probably 4 or 5 different Spanish artists in Palm Bay, and that I do work with. So
That's great. That's great. Yeah, tell him you'll have to give him my number so I can put him on our Spanglish show. We have a show on Wednesdays called Spanglish Cafe, and we interview salsa artists from around the world. This week we had a gentleman from Tenerife in Canary Islands, and I forgot where the other guy was from. But we travel Chile, Colombia, and we have a big community in Colombia watching us. JC's song is playing 4 times a day in Colombia and
Nice.
on a radio station. And let's see, do I have comments here? And yeah. JC's saying I love it. And we have a big veteran community here. Huge veteran community here. My cousin Ronnie, he's like my second cousin. He is retired military. A lot of my cousins served in the my grandfather served in World War II. My uncle served in the Vietnam. So I'm familiar with having military family, and also my extended family. I call them the original Blue Bloods. You know, Blue Bloods, a series. So my aunt got married, and his side of the family he's Irish, and they were Irish Italian, the mother, right? And they had like 5 police officers. So when you went to their house, everybody's in blue. Everybody's at the table. Sunday dinner. Everybody, whoever's going, I have to go back to work. All the police officers were there. So when I saw the Blue Bloods, I said, "Oh my God, we used to do that back in the 80s and the 70s when I was a little girl. They were all together." So I respect a lot the police, the firemen. We've had several fires here. When I first moved down here, it was so dry for a couple of months. We didn't have any rain. So like you were talking about that. So when we have these fires, then all our resources go to that fire, I'm guessing. So, I mean, how many fire departments do we have in Palm Bay? Do you know?
I want to say they're counting these new ones. I want to say there's almost 8. I don't know exactly now, counting the exact ones that they are adding. But with those fires, we actually had Mother's Day fires, which were crazy. There was somebody running around setting fires.
Oh, they were?
And I would say hundreds of acres got burnt. Houses got burnt. It was a fiasco. But one of the good things about Palm Bay is we are extremely united. And one of the things that we did is I actually worked for the city of Palm Bay. I worked for Public Works during that time. And our Public Works department was actually on the front lines with the fire department. So where the fire department is there, we have an extensive line of brush trucks. We have a number of assets that help us fight brush fires. And what we did was we actually, not only provided everything that the fire department needed, but the Public Works department cut trails to stop the spread of this fire and everything else. So, the fire department isn't just the fire department. There's the whole city gets involved in that. So,
Wow.
so we came together as a city, and a lot of that showed me how amazing our city can be together.
Wow.
And it's always in disasters like that. Like Tropical Storm Faye came through, and it dumped a lot of water on us. It's probably the most water I've seen in Palm Bay ever. And I mean, everybody was so awesome with each other, and it showed me the potential that we have for a city.
Yeah. I mean, I see there's a lot of good people here. My husband's online. He's saying he loves it here. I mean, we like Palm Bay in the sense of it's more peaceful. Like the energy here is completely different than it is down south. It's a whole completely thing. You can feel the energy here that it's much better. Now, of course, you always have your elements. So going back to the area where the BMX bikes, that's where the compound is, right? They call it, or whatever they call it.
It's not specifically going to be out in the compound, but it will be on a road that leads to the compound. So there's already a bike track there. It's like a bicycle track, and this isn't a for sure thing. This is just where they think that it might work.
Mm.
So as of right now, it's gonna if you know where Dragonfly Farms is on, it's either Kogan or Osmosis. It's one of the two that lead out to the compound.
That's further south. I'm off of Emerson. Say I'm like near Waco,
Okay.
Emerson, like around that area.
Okay.
So in the houses back here. So so sometimes I go towards Bayside to go to Publix because that's the closest to me. It's like 3 minutes, you
If
know.
you take that all the way west, that'll take you out to the compound.
If you
Emerson.
take Emerson?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
You
So
follow the way to the end, it'll take you right to the middle of the compound.
okay. I don't think I need to be there though.
Hey, it is an amazing place.
What is it about? I've heard negative things.
It has a lot of stigma to it that it's this bad place. But I've spent my whole childhood going out there riding four-wheelers and everything else. And the bad part about the compound is the people that are out there doing the things, they're usually from not even here. They're usually from other places. It's not like Palm Bay residents or the boogeyman lives out.
Okay.
The boogeyman's going to get you if you go out there. I've been out there all hours. Me being a videographer, I do a lot of my videos out there. There's a lot of people that go out there and just hit golf balls, or there's people that go out there and fly their RC planes or their drones. And I mean, it has a lot of good to it.
So it's just a big open space, basically, that's not developed. Is that what it is?
And the sad part about that, the sad part about the whole situation is the more you get people out of there, the more you're going to see bad things happen. Because people are doing things out there because no one's there. When you have more people there,
they can't do it.
Yeah, they're witnesses. They don't want people around for that. So, I mean, it is good to have people out there, but it's also bad because a lot of the things people are doing, are not per the law.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Ride four-wheelers on the streets, but they're doing it. And, little things like that, and people get hurt every now and then. And but people get hurt everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And, we have to weigh in, the positives and the negatives, and I have a couple ideas for it, but I'm not sure if any of it's going to work because there are 2,800 people that own property out there, so it is extremely difficult to get something done out there. I want to say the city only has 275 acres of it. So we also, there are a lot of people out there, but they had a lot of that problem out in Holapaw at this place called Suburban Estates. And what they did was they just fenced it all in. They fenced it all in and put gates because it is illegal for you to cut, it's illegal for you to cut someone off to their property. So you always have to be able to grant access to the property owner. But what they did was they put up fences around the whole thing, and they put up a gate, and they gave the owners a key. So, that's another thing is to create an HOA out there. If you create an HOA, the owners of the properties out there are, going to have to pay a fee to get it all maintained.
Right. And keep it a certain way. Yeah. I mean, that's how they do mostly south. I mean, HOAs are good and bad. You know what I mean? Like, depends on the way they do the restrictions and things like that. That's one of the reasons why I bought a house here, because I didn't have HOA. Yeah. But my block is pretty good. Everybody's house maintained. My neighbors are awesome. A diversity of people. And like I said, they greeted me when I got here. I was like shocked that the neighbor came by. I said to JC, the neighbor came by. Really? Wow. What happened? I said, they said hi. Really? It was like, it's like a foreign thing for us. I feel like I went from, but
we are a tight knit community, and we are part of the base of the original, the original people that lived here, and everybody's always been so friendly and nice. And that's just the people from here. my great grandfather was actually one of the founders of Palm Bay and Melbourne, and the 42,500 acres that GDC got to make Palm Bay was actually from my family.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. So we're, my family's actually one of the original families that lived here.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But another thing that I was passionate about for the compound was we created a CRA for the Bayfront area to bring new business in, to um, to possibly create an opportunity zone for the Bayfront community. I don't know why that's something we can't do for the compound. Opportunity zones right now are just a huge tool in the shed to be used, and I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of options for things to do out there, and I just feel like a lot of kicking the can down the road's happening.
Mm. I mean, like I said before, the biggest thing I see is some eyesores out there that are some businesses that are closed.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've heard, there was a restaurant that's off of Babcock. I think it was called Margarita, I think something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like turnover. And I'm like, it's a great spot. Like I was looking at it. This would be a great spot to have some entertainment in the neighborhood, a nice restaurant, but that a lot of businesses fail. There's a couple of businesses. There was a Puerto Rican restaurant that used to be, I guess, towards the river, and then they changed hands several times. I heard also, and they didn't do very well. So I'm not sure if it's because we don't have enough news. That's why I have the
Mm-hmm.
magazine. It's going to the presses now, to start engaging the community. And I'm going to be going to different places so people can get the magazine and also see online what's going on in Palm Bay. So I'm trying to be, a source for Palm Bay to
Mm-hmm.
get news out there and get people more engaged, because people don't know what's going on. Oh, there was a salsa. Oh, they had music where,
Yeah.
and I spoke to a lady that lives here for 30 something years. And
Mm-hmm.
she said that she's Hispanic, she's Colombian. Oh no, Mexican, sorry, Mexican. And she said that, she loves to dance salsa. So she's like, there's really no place for like to have an elegant, you know what I mean? Like back in the day when we used to go out, I'm from New York originally. So when you used to go out to a club, you get dressed to the nine, as they say, right? We were dressed up nice, and you would go out because it was a night out and you want to look your best. So you wear, like they say, best suit, right? But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times now places are not like that anymore. People just go whatever, and it changes the whole ambiance of the event. So she was talking about how she wishes there would be something more like that, something more
Yeah.
classy for certain people, and you can do it for both different types of music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
um,
believe it or not, that place Morel's actually, that started off as a convenience store. It was literally, you go in and you buy a soda or whatever you want, and that's it. Uh, I actually worked like a few doors down from there, so I would be in there every single day. And until I got my promotion at work, I was, they started putting food in there, and I was in there every single day. And not just my bank can show that. I got a little bit down there to show for it. The food was always amazing, amazing food.
yeah,
But when
we
they started, they brought in like 3 or 4 tables, and they're like, man, these tables are always full. So they they got it to where they're at now, and I think whoever's behind that operation over there is an absolute genius, because what they're doing is they're finding what the community wants and needs, and they're building it. And I
did.
think that's one of the whoever's running Morels over there is they need to be on some kind of board to help Palm Bay expand, because they have they have literally found out every single need that their community wants, and
Mm,
they've provided it.
mm,
And I think we're missing a lot of common sense too, because
mm.
because how I see, just outside looking in, if you do a study on Palm Bay, you're going to learn the highest paid jobs in the city are at Harris, right there on or at the end of John Conlon on Palm Bay Road. Okay. why haven't we built that area up to where 4,700 employees
Thank
have
you.
somewhere to walk for food, have
Thank you.
somewhere to go after work? But no, they go outside of Palm Bay. They go
But
to
there's
other
nothing
places
here.
and they spend their money other places instead of here.
Yes.
It's like in 2017, I worked with this guy named James, and we busted our butts to get people here to build like a winter park type downtown on John Conlon, which is right across the street from public or
Right.
from
Morel. Yeah.
yes, yes. And what they wanted to do was at the corner of Portmount or of Palm Bay Road in John Conlon, make a winter park type downtown where people can go for lunches, can go for little shops, can do day shopping and whatnot. But the place closes down at 11:30, so you don't have a lot of the things that a downtown that's open till 2 or 3 a.m. You know, nothing happens good after midnight, I believe. And with Winter Park, it's a place where you can walk. You can walk at night with your family. You can sit down and take pictures. You can, I mean, there's a place that people bring blankets and have picnics.
You can
And
do movie night. You can have like a big screen and do a movie night, like free
yes,
movie. You can do things like that. And no,
yes,
I can see that, and that's what I'm saying. The city is lacking that. It's if you want to go somewhere, there's a couple of places you can go in Palm Bay, but yeah, like I'm a foodie. I'm very picky about what I eat and stuff, and I'm like, I don't like that, and I don't want fried food. I don't eat fast food. Like right now here on Emerson, they're building a Starbucks, and I don't know what else is over there. It's probably going to be a Chipotle or something, and it's all
yeah,
fast food. I don't eat that stuff. I got Wendy's, McDonald's. I got all of them right here, and
yeah,
I'm like, I don't go there. Let's bring some healthy food to Palm Bay. You
yeah.
know,
Well, the
but
good thing is I still have contact with all those people. So if if we get a staff that's actually excited to do things like that and wants to push things like that, I always have contact with these people. Um, we only brought in $100 million worth of new business when we were doing that. We had about 350 million that wanted to come in behind that, and I think there is a lot of potential, but we just need to make sure it's smart growth and
exactly.
car washes, Dollar General, storage units, and
TJ Maxx.
yeah,
I mean,
nope,
I need to buy stuff. I'm like, I can't. There's only a Marshalls and only this. As a woman, only the stores on Palm Bay Road. I'm like, there's no TJ Maxx. There's no this. There's not a Ross nearby. There's not a, those
well,
are
there
these
is one.
stores.
There's one in West Melbourne on Palm Bay Road,
Yeah, I know. That's too
but it's
far.
on
I
the West
don't want to go up
Melbourne
there.
side.
I don't want to go up there.
Different Gate, West Melbourne. Yeah,
I know. I saw it. I've been to that one. I
yeah,
want to stay here in Palm Bay. I don't want to keep going to Melbourne.
yeah.
Everybody's like, "Where are you going?" Melbourne. And oh, another thing that I tell you personal things I've gone through. Another thing that I'm having a huge problem with is medical.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, medical. I have two elderly. My mother's almost 87. My aunt's going to be 85 now, and thank God they're very healthy. But my mother fell the other day in the house, and so she was a little banged up, and I had to go take her to the doctor. And it was like, since we moved up here, you have to go to your primary. Then getting into the primary took me 2 months to get an appointment. Then it's taken over a month to get an MRI. I go, by now she's better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is going on? A lot of the standard insurance that they have is only covered by a certain amount of doctors. If not, I have to go to Melbourne. If not, I have to go to Sebastian. I still don't even have a primary doctor because I can't try to find one. I'm at the point that I'm going to go back to Boca and go to the doctor because I only go every 3 months
Yep.
because it's been an issue. So that's another thing too that I don't know if anybody knows in the city this, but medical is also another problem
It
of
really
just having
is.
primary doctors and just general good doctors here.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they've been discussing for the compound is a tech, like a tech industrial area, and a lot of that area would be, is medical research. I'm sorry, but a lot of people need to realize our medical research facilities are lacking in Florida. There's the, every single time I hear a kid has an issue or something, he has to go all the way up to Shands in Gainesville. What's stopping? There's nothing in Central Florida, zero. So I think we have a lot of potential, and we just need somebody that's excited to bring that potential to the forefront. And always with stuff like that, you're going to receive grants for your city, grants for the community, and I just think we need to be doing a lot more. And being a city employee, I know this stuff that we can do. I've been in the rooms when they've engineered these big bridges and everything, and we did all that ourselves. We had so much potential back in the day, and it's like now everything's consulted out. And
right, that's more money. If you consult it out, then you're spending more money when you can have it within, or hire an expert within. Like I'm a tech person, so I actually worked at Harris before we became L3. I was there a consultant for a year back in 2016.
Okay.
2017. So I was there for a year, and that's how I learned about Palm Bay. And then I found out my cousins lived up here, and I didn't even know. Okay. So I have one cousin right here on Eldron, not far from me, and the other one lives on Riviera.
Okay.
And and that's another thing. Right now, my cousin went through a sickness, so he had to go to an assisted living facility. That's a whole nother story that we need, because as a senior, there's a lot of seniors here, and there are some senior communities, but I don't know how much. So he had to go. He's all the way Melbourne by the water. He's at
So he's not at the one next to Sea Pines?
No.
No. Okay. A lot of people from Palm Bay have been going to the one next to Sea Pines.
Yeah, he was at that rehab that's over there. He was there for a little while, but what he needed, and it's so expensive. I mean, it's insane. Who's putting these prices? They are paying for two people $9,000 a month.
Jesus.
9,000. Why? Because they give you 3 meals a day, and they're up there checking on you. So it's $4,500 per person, because it's him and his wife.
Yeah.
I'm like, who can afford that? If I had to do that, I can't pay that. I'll be in the street. There's no way.
It is crazy. I agree with you.
I mean, we could keep talking. There's so many things that we can add to the city. But I mean, the thing is, Palm Bay, the way it is beautiful. But I see the growth, and I see now there are some traffic during rush hour, which is normal. Okay. But our roads are small. So when are they going to decide to start building? Like, they're going to have to widen the streets or add another main road or something, because Babcock, it's a one lane this way, one lane that way, over the 95.
So Babcock is actually a county road. So that's going to be a county job, and we have been on the brink of that getting done for probably 4 years.
Wow.
We were actually really close to it, and we had a change of management, and a lot of the management, I would say the management techniques kind of clashed with the management techniques of the county. So that's on the back burner right now.
And it comes like they say, it comes political, right? When it moves away from the community and it becomes a political decision, or more of a I'm the boss, so kind of that tug and war back and forth, that's when it becomes an issue.
It is.
And what you're saying is, so the city works like it's almost like a committee. So you have to come in and vote for certain things, correct? How does decisions work?
Things like stuff like that, staff handles the interaction with the county. So now some of the maintenance had to go through council and to be approved for the maintenance, because I want to say there was talks at one time, the last time that I heard, that the county was going to build it as long as the city of Palm Bay maintained it for X amount of years. And that's the last thing that I heard about it. But nothing gets done quickly. And I think one of their main focuses right now is that intersection at Babcock in the new Parkway. So I do believe it's going to happen sooner than later. But I think right now, our city's kind of on like autopilot, just doing what they can do to survive. And there's not a lot of motivation to start kicking some butt. Right, we're where Melbourne and West Melbourne send what they don't want. Everything is Melbourne and West Melbourne, and Palm Bay is just like the
stepchild.
Let's apartments over there.
That's not good. We need power here in Palm Bay we need to be able to have that we live here to be able to work in our own community, right? And support the community. That's I think that's what I need as a small business owner. That's what I believe. And then also making it affordable for people to even lease a location to do something for the community.
Well, they're so high. Like if you look at West Melbourne, do you know what millage is?
No.
Okay. So for all the people that don't know what your millage rate and how your taxes are added up when you see your ad valorem taxes at the end of the year. So your city is based off of a millage rate. So that millage rate is the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. That's just, it basically says for every $1,000 of assessed tax value your home has, you owe $1. So if your house is worth, $10,000, you owe $10. Well, the city of West Melbourne's millage rate is 1.99, which means they owe $1.99 for every $1,000 your house is worth, and that's after your homestead and things like that. But the city of Palm Bay is 7.1.
7.
Yeah, we're in 7 numbers, and we also have a road bond that I believe is 0.9. So we're at 8. So for every $1,000 your house is worth, you owe $8. So that's what was going to be crazy with that $2 million, and they weren't saying $2 million. They're saying 2 mils, which is 2 of the millage points. That would have been for every $1,000 you owe another $2.
Wow.
So that would have put us at 10, and
that's a lot.
Every $1,000 is a lot of money.
And where's that money going to?
Especially when we're in such a bad shape that we don't see where anything is going to.
Oh my gosh.
I sit here for another 2 hours talking about like some of the mistakes that are happening and things that can so easily be prevented. So
talking about I don't want to talk about too much about, but I don't know any of it. I know there's a lot of like people are not confident of the city because there was a lot of scandal in the day. And I know that there was somebody, I don't think he's running anymore. There was some guy that was trying to run and he had a DUI and arrested for drugs or something. And it was all on Nextdoor. Everybody was talking about it. How can this guy run if he has such a background? I said, well, my feeling is everybody always can have a second chance. My feeling is everybody can change, but if it's something that's blatant, that's really bad, I don't understand how he can even run. I don't remember.
Well, anyone's allowed to run. As long as you can pass the qualifications to run, you're, just because you did something wrong, doesn't mean that you can't run if you're legally qualified. It is the city's choice to vote for him or not vote for him. On me myself, I've had several conversations with who you're talking about, and I truly believe that he was at a dark place in his life, and he's found something different. I truly think that when he was in office, he did a great job. He just had some mishaps from outside of there.
From life. Yep. Yeah.
But it's our job as a community to either forgive or forget.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can't
That's
be like, well, this happened and I don't know if I can. I'm always a person who believes that somebody is always put on a path, whether their path is good or whether their path is bad. They're going to have little things they have to get over or get through.
yeah.
And I'm not a perfect person.
Oh yeah, none of us are. None
Make
of us are.
mistakes, but on the backside of that, I think 4 or 5 times before I do anything. I was raised by my grandmother. I don't have any tattoos. I've never smoked a cigarette. I've never even tried coffee.
Oh my
Where
God.
where I can sit there and
No cafecito, no little espresso. Ah.
I've never tried any of it. But on the backside of that, you have to just assess how you think of it. Are you gonna pick somebody that doesn't know anything about the city, which is a lot of why we are how we are right now. We have a lot of people that are super popular or a really nice guy, but they don't know anything about the city. So when the staff says, "Hey, you need to do this," they don't know whether they're getting the right or the wrong information. So basically, staff is controlling the city because these people are really nice people and they're really cool and everybody likes them. But if staff is telling them, this street goes this way, they're going to be like, "Oh, well, staff said the street goes that way, so I vote yes, the street goes that way."
That's not good. That's
we,
not good. You need somebody that knows the city. You really
we need
need to.
people that know the city and know what's right and what's wrong.
Right. Like you
And
said, you like to knock on doors, so you get to engage with the community, and just being on that app also next door. It's a really good community platform because people do vent. People go on there and vent, and some things are crazy or funny, but other things are, I laugh when people, oh, there's another dog out, or oh, I know. I want to ask you. I know we've been on for a while already, but I think this is a really important conversation. I think this is good for anybody. It's a voting year, and this happens in every county, every city. So people need to be aware wherever you live. Get in tune with what's going on in your city, because if you live there and you want something to change or be involved, you have to be involved. You can't just be the silent person, right? Or we can't be the complainer behind the door and nobody even knows what's going on. So that's why I did this.
Our voices seriously. We can sit there and pack city council with 1,000 people saying one thing, and they're going to vote a different way because they don't know how the city got where it is. And I sat there and when I originally decided to do this, it was because a person went and they stood up at council one night and they were upset about water in their swale. And one of these city council members said, "I had a long discussion with utilities about this, and this is something that's really important to me. And I'm going to keep on talking to utilities about this." And it kind of hit me to where utilities doesn't even deal with the water in your swale. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is a point where you have a concerned citizen that really is passionate enough to go up there and talk about a problem in their city, when you can sit there and say, "Okay, ma'am, well, I'm not sure that you can have dialect back and forth at council. I've seen them do it. I've seen them not do it. It just depends on how they feel at the time. But me as a person, if I'm allowed to, I would say, ma'am, what we need to understand about our city is it was actually designed to hold water. Our swales are not designed to flow water out when it rains. So how it was designed originally is we didn't have city water and we didn't have city sewer. So we had to rely on the water in the ground for our drinking water and everything else. So what our swales do is they hold that water that comes in from the rains and everything else, and it trickles back down into the aquifer.
Ah, okay.
So now there is a certain point, and I want to say it's around 12 or 14 inches in the swales that the water is designed to flow out. But you're supposed to have water up to 72 hours in your swale. And nobody's ever told anybody at city at a
That's
council.
weird. That's
They're
weird. Are you kidding? As dry as it was the last couple of months, right before it started raining, when we first got here in April, there was a drought and we had no water, and everything was like, if I lit a match, the whole place would go, because it was so dry, and we were watering every day, even to the point that the utility, I got an email saying you have a high usage of water. I'm like, yeah, there's a drought. I have to water. But at least they warned me about it. So I noticed that some houses have wells and we have septic tanks. That's because we had no city water and city sewer, correct?
Yes, when GDC originally came through and designed Palm Bay, it wasn't for city water and sewer.
So now are they mandating now that you have to remove them? Because I've seen things like that.
Well,
They're taking out our septic tanks
there
and
was a federal ordinance to make septic mandatory where it's available. So that is a federal guideline. That's not something the city's doing. That's something the city has to follow. But I think we should be a big voice because I see a lot of issues with that. Like we have a lot of people that have just built their houses. Why would they go and tear out a perfectly good septic system to hook up to sewer in 3 months?
and pay more money. Yeah.
Exactly. And then pay for it again.
And then we have to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's mandatory and it's like $5,000. What happens if you don't have that money? What are you
It's
supposed to do?
almost triple that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not paying that.
Yeah,
Leave
they're
my
saying
septic
it's
tank
$12,000 to $20,000 for hookup.
and we have to pay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the
if you
federal
don't pay,
government wants to do it, they should pay for it.
and if you don't pay, it gets put on your taxes at the end of the year, I've heard.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want to implement something, and I have to speak to people at higher levels than the city. But one thing that I feel would work in the best interest of everybody is to issue a waiver program where if you have an active septic and it works, there's nothing wrong with it, you get a waiver. So anytime that you need to replace your septic, then you hook up. So once you get the waiver, you use your septic, your perfectly fine septic, until it needs to be replaced.
Right.
And septic systems usually last or I would say that septic tanks last 20 to 25 years is what I've read up on them. So you would have that waiver. So when septic does come through, you're going to have your waiver until your tank needs to be replaced.
Right. Yeah, because my house is like 16 years old. So it's probably 16 years old. So I have, I guess say I have another 7 years or something, 10 years, whatever on there. Then that makes more sense because I just moved. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I did notice little things like when we first were looking for houses, they were like, oh, you can build an 800 square foot tiny house in your house with no permit. BS. What are you talking about? You can't. You could before.
Yeah.
Now you can't.
I think it's funny, and I actually think it's sad but funny. Now all of a sudden you can't build these sheds and these things in your yard. You can't build the detached garage anymore. But what's popping up all over? Storage units. Isn't that funny that the storage units start popping up as soon as they make this?
Yeah, I had to get a storage because I didn't have any space, and I had to do.
Yeah.
And then I did get a shed, but then I had to, get the permit and all that thing, and then it has to be on concrete block. And then the inspector came, and he was saying that if it's on a slab, I forgot what he told me. There's a different thing when you have it on a slab.
Slab's not the right color.
Oh God, I don't even know. That concrete slab was like the death of me trying to get that
A
in there.
green slab, and this is a yellow slab. Sorry.
Oh my God. And then we have one inspector. We have one inspector for Palm Bay. One. How is that
Well, I
possible?
think there's different inspectors for different things because I
Yeah,
know
but the
a lot
guy
of
that does the concrete, whatever, there's one guy.
yeah.
Okay, so now we had how many? 2,500 more than that homes built. Okay, so oh my gosh, like the poor guy's gonna be wiped out. You got 2,000 houses today. Can you do it? You know what I mean?
Hence why nobody wants to do business in Palm Bay. Yeah, I think once we have some kind of operational oversight that's going to compare what we do to what other cities do, I think we're going to have a better basis on this. And I think our operational audit needs to hit about, I would say, at least 10 years. We need to go back 10 years and see what we've done since that 10 years
Right.
and look at what our downfalls are.
And
Because
and look to see where can we make money? Like you said,
yeah,
we have to build the town up with
yeah,
small businesses, things that are friendly to the community, that people want to go out and go, oh wow, look, we have a nice area, and or fix the ones that we have, because there's a lot of open plazas, like the one right there on Palm Bay Road and Babcock, where the
mhm,
Publix is. I was here 2016, and that there's a space that's been empty since then.
yeah.
It's like, and it's not good when it's empty, because then it looks run down and like there's nothing appealing. No, but who wants to go into that shopping center? Even the one across the street where Chili's is too is not very nice either.
Why
You
would
know,
you cater to those 4,700 employees that actually have the highest paid salaries in Brevard County is beyond me. That
I know.
um,
I mean, I was making very good money at Harris, and you
mhm,
get paid very well there.
I
And
know.
every day they have a cafeteria, but you get tired. You don't want to go every day
Yeah.
to the cafeteria. So I would walk out. I would go outside, and I'm like, where am I going? I'm
I'll
driving
tell
up
you
and
where to
down.
go. Go to Skibo's.
Where's that at?
Oh, Skibo's is the best. They're do you know the plaza that's next to the BP that's next to Harris?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. I
It's
eat
right
there
there.
every week. Place is amazing.
What kind of food is it?
Soul food.
Oh, soul food. Oh,
I eat
okay.
there Morels.
Oh,
But I work down there too, so
okay.
that's why
All
I'm
right. Well, this has been a great conversation. I mean, there's so much going on. Oh, I want to ask about one more thing, is about wildlife.
hmm
So interesting. Yesterday, it was freaky. I was outside gonna go water. I was fighting with the bugs on my cucumber plants, right?
hmm
So I took one of them out. I'm trying to replant them. I'm doing all this stuff. I come back, I get the hose, and all of a sudden I see a red hawk
hmm
was in the corner. I didn't even see him. That's how sneaky they are. He was in the corner, and he had like another little bird. So when I watered it, I freed the bird. I'm like, oh, I saved your life. And he flew this way and the hawk went the other way. I
Yeah.
was like, so question is, we have a lot of wildlife. When they're cutting down these trees to build these houses, all the woodpeckers, the hawks, there's so many types of birds and stuff like that. They don't know where to go, so they just find another place. So are we doing things to have conserve some of our wildlife in Palm Bay, because there's so much of it?
Well, what's crazy is we actually have a large conservation.
Oh, we lost him. He'll be back in a minute. This has been an incredible conversation. We're just waiting for Mike to come back. Maybe he got a phone call or something that that knocked them off. But these conversations are awesome, because I don't know about you, but I never knew so much about things about the city, and it's amazing to hear. And it's good to listen to somebody who knows the city and is running for council to make his voice heard in the committee, so we can have a better city. So I'm really curious about this, and we'll see if he reconnects again. But what I'm going to do is um, so we've touched a lot of subjects. Now voting is next week. I think it's Tuesday. I don't have all my voting information, but you can go. There's a voter guide on your ballot.vote411.org. and you can go to that and you can put your address in, and then it gives you all the people that are voting in your community. So I'm going to just show you here. Let me just go back to the voter. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see this while Mike tries to get reconnected again, because they don't want us to talk anymore. Oh, there he is. Let's see. Hold on. He's back. He's back. Got disconnected for a second.
Yeah, I got a phone call. Sorry.
Oh, that's what I figured. Yeah, I know. We've been on for like an
I have
hour.
no sound though.
Oh, you're on. Okay, now. Are you good? Yeah, you're good now. So we were.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have no sound whatsoever. I'm sorry.
oh, you can't hear me? I can hear you.
That's weird.
You
Well,
can't
I'm
hear
sorry.
me?
I don't have any sound. I can't hear anything you're saying. But we actually, I'll answer your question. Just can you hear me? Okay. So we actually have the Majors Golf Course, which has a lot of conservation areas on it itself, but that also is threatening development right now. So other than the compound and a lot of the land that we haven't developed yet, because we are 45% built out, so we do have a lot of land. I think a lot of it, a lot of our green spaces need to be conserved. I really think that we should have been a lot smarter about the golf course when it was for sale and whatnot. And I know for a long time there was something on the books that said it had to stay a golf course, but I think that ran out. And in that turn, it's something that the city could have bought for $1.4 million back in the day, and now I mean it's $10+ million, and I would think maybe $15 million that the lady wants for it now. When what's really sad to me is the fact of a lot of this is conservation area in there, and there's 4,000 plus homes that were built around this golf course. There's 4,000 homes that were built because there's a golf course there, and their home values depend on there being a golf course there. And now, we're talking about putting multifamily units in there, and you can't even go to that Publix anymore. The parking lot's always full. That whole parking lot's a mess to get in and out of. And here we are, we want to add 500 new units to Bayside, and that's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. We need to find a way to get that back to being a golf course. And what they've done is they've actually taken the heart out of this community. It's a golf community without a golf course.
Wow.
So it's I can't hear what you're saying, but I will end on that, and
Okay.
I will also say this. My phone number is 321-821-8889. If anybody ever has any questions about how the city works, how something is being discussed in council and they don't understand it and whatnot. Have been around here a long time. I've been a city employee. I've been around the people that are actually making the projects here in the city of Palm Bay. So anybody ever has any questions about anything, and especially you already have my phone number. I'm 200% down to help you guys with the music video too. So just let me know if I can help anybody. And the election is August 20th here for our primary. Make sure you vote for Mike Hammer for Palm Bay City Council seat 2. I am busting my butt out here. I'm out door knocking. I'm out at the polling sites for early voting, and it's been a blessing to be able to, whether I win or lose, I've met a lot of great people, and I've met a lot of people that know a lot about the city and have extremely, extremely passionate views about our future. And I think a lot of that's not what we're discussing more is the potential that the people within the city have to forge a path forward for our city. And I think we need to take how they feel and what they want into more consideration moving forward, because the fact we're building a huge building in front of City Hall when things are as bad as they are is it's incredibly irresponsible to me. So
Wow. Wow.
anyways, everybody, it was awesome. I still
All right.
can't hear anything
I
he's
know.
saying,
It's all right.
unfortunately.
Thank you.
So I will talk to you a
I'll
little
call you.
later, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you. So somehow he lost his audio there. He couldn't hear me, but I could hear him. So I appreciate Mike Hammer. He's really knowledgeable of the city here in Palm Bay. I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot of stuff too. It's really awesome. Get involved in your city. Okay. If there's things that you don't like, get involved. Find out somebody who's really knowledgeable of the city. Vote. Remember, your vote is important. Don't waste your vote, like not going because you can't think because you're going to impact. Yes, you're going to impact. If everybody thinks positively and everybody goes to the polls to vote to make a better city, a better country for us, for ourselves, right? And for our children and for all our ancestors, and all our future family to come, it will make an impact. Don't think your voice is not heard. It is. Okay. And that's I want to give that message out to people. Vote. Okay. And it's about, let me just say, because I'm not talking parties. I'm talking about common sense, which I know a lot of people don't have, unfortunately. But use your own brain. Do your own research. You want to know something? Look, I picked up the phone. My camera was more than willing to talk to me. Got him on here right away before the elections next week. Sorry, next week. And like I said, there's a page that you can go online and you can see what's going on in your area. So I'm just going to show this real quick here. And okay, so if you go to the voter, it's called Our Ballot. It's Our Ballot, onyourballot.vote411.org. And there you can see they have a list of like all the things that are being voted for, November ballots, everything's on there. It talks about the tax collector. Here's the council seat, and you can see here, this is council seat 2 here. And they have really 2 people. One person didn't answer. You got Richard Mike Hammer, and then you have this other Patrick McNally. So those are the 2 people going for those seats there. And my vote is for Mike Hammer because he really is knowledgeable of the city. And I didn't know that that his family was so integral in. They're the ones that own the land here before even it was Palm Bay. Can you believe that? So how he knows a lot about this city. So this is something, he's a voice. He's been to council meetings. I've seen it because I started following all the council meetings for the city of Palm Bay. So I appreciate him. Don't forget to vote. And I'll see you next week. We'll see what was going on. There's always something going on in Florida, that's for sure, and all around the world. And so just check out our website is spanglishentertainmentllc. It's being developed. You'll see changes on a daily basis or weekly basis because we're still working on it, adding more stuff, adding all the podcasts. The magazine is going to be added shortly, and all the articles, and we'll still get stuff from the local city. So I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your Friday and have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye.